Green light, man. We got you. Okay, now let's do the test. All right. Testing 127.9.3. Can you hear me? You're going to project more than that. Yeah. You can you hear me now? Okay, try. All right. Can everybody hear me? Who in the room cannot hear me? Can the guys in the hallway hear me? Huh? Can you hear me? Oh yeah, that's good. Good. Because this is not Verizon or Talk or whatever they call that other group. You'll project more when you start teaching. I will project. I hope I don't get reject, but I will project. Take your time, guys. You got like 45 seconds, you know. That's official. That's protocol. Sure got quiet. That's what I like. Silence is golden. I'm just waiting on the clock. Everybody looks good tonight. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are in here, by the way, because I'm going to be calling on you a little later. No. No shields. No shields. That's close enough. Okay, guys. Welcome to our Wednesday night study. Oh, wait. I'll wait. Thank you. Welcome to our Wednesday night study. And it's going to be a little different tonight. And Martin says promoting this particular night for quite a while. I've been thinking about it for a few years. But we're going to talk about the flag. Before we do that and all that encompasses, let's have a word of prayer. Okay? Please. I'll just start. Father God, thank you, Lord, that we are gathered here tonight in your name. We're gathered here as, Christian nationalists. We are patriotic, Lord, and we love you, Lord. And I pray that tonight the words that go forth from me and from some others will stick with us. I thank you for that, Lord. As we talk about our country and the symbol of our country. And I thank you for this opportunity. In Jesus' name I say it. Amen. Yes. Okay, so tonight we're going to do quite a different number of things. I'm going to give a short talk on American flag, what it represents, how it came about, that sort of thing, a real short one. And then the second part of tonight is we're going to have a hands-on usage of the proper disposal of torn and tattered flags. For you guys that maybe fly a flag at home, you may not know how to get rid of that thing once it's torn and tattered. Most flags only last about a year out in the weather. And throwing them in the trash can is not the respectful way to get rid of a flag. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then the third thing that we'd like to do tonight is go outside and show the proper way to dispose of a flag with dignity. And I'll talk about the 3 different ways that can be done. So there's going to be quite a bit of trivia and notes here that I'm going to mention. I don't expect you to remember all of them. And if I did the full speech on the American flag, we'd be here about 6 hours. But I try to condense it down into a few points. You guys are certainly welcome to go online and look up the U.S. Flag Code. It's a nice thick book. and talks about from beginning to end about our flag and what Congress has done for us. And I'm just going to mention a couple of small paragraphs about that and then go into some other things. So put your listening ears on and be ready. The first American flag, often referred to as the Betsy Ross flag, is generally credited to the Philadelphia seamstress Elizabeth Betsy Ross. While she is widely believed to have sewn the first flag, it is also speculated, now here's the kicker, it's speculated that Francis Hopkinson might have designed the initial flag. Betsy Ross was 24 years old when she allegedly sewed the first American flag. So she's not the originator of it, she's just the sewer of it. The story goes that she was asked to make the flag in June of 1776, and she made a few design changes, including recommending a 5-point star instead of 6. That was in the original design, a 6-pointed star. The Continental Congress officially adopted the Stars and Stripes with 13 alternating red and white stripes and 13 white stars in a blue field on June 14, 1777. Now, just to see how well you're familiar, I don't see any flags flying around here, but you have a blue field right here. I'm going to use this wall-mounted for example. A blue field, we know there's 50 stars representing 50 states. Does anyone know, right off, if you do, let me know, how many stripes we have from the edge of that blue to the end of the flag there? It's kind of interesting, really, when you think about it. Anybody? Okay, I'll give you a hint. There's 7. There's 7 stripes in this area, this small area right here, and there's 6 stripes from the blue field over to the end of the flag. 13 stripes in total. The Continental Congress officially adopted the Stars and Stripes. I think I said this, but with 13 alternating red and white stripes and 13 white stars in a blue field on June 14th, 1777. Now, the current design, which is right here in front of us, is in its 27th change. Can you imagine that? This flag has undergone 27 changes since 1777. I thought maybe only 2 or 3, but hey, for a while, and this is not in my notes, but I've read it earlier, every time we added a state, they added not only a star, but they added a stripe. And it was up to like, I don't know, 15, 18 different stripes. They said, we got to put a halt to that. So Congress changed it. The current design of the U.S. flag is its 27th. The design of the flag has been modified officially 26 times, as I said, since 1777. Now, the 48-star flag was in effect for 47 years. That's a long time without a change. Until the 49th star version came out official on July 4th, 1959. And then Hawaii was added August 21st, 1 month later in August. And that confirmed the 27th design. All right, let's go on to something else here. You heard me talk about the federal flag code. It's like a little book, actually. I've got 14 pages front and back of it, and I'm not going to read this to you guys. If you want to know what it says, you're welcome to look it up, just like I did online. But there are a few little facts I want to bring out. And we're going to start out with the Master of Ceremonies here, the flag itself. The flag, and I only drew one picture, and it was a wall-mounted version, has different parts. I got my notes here. You've seen the flag that's on a flag post. You've seen the little ball on top of it. Anybody know what that's called? It's called a finial. F-I-N-E-A-L, a finial. And I learned that from Steve Willingham when he was here, since he was always correcting me on the flag. The white part of the flag right here is called the header, this seam here. The end of the opposite end, right here, when it's flying, is called a wave. That's called a wave. And if it's inside a building, it's not waving, is it? But that's what it's called. Everything's got a position, everything's got a name. The blue part of the flag It goes by two different names. I researched this out, but the most common one, and I've never heard of it, was called the canton. Canton. I've always known it as the Union, and we'll get into what that means, what that's used for when we talk about getting rid of the flags when they're torn up and everything. The pole that goes along the side. Now this one is designed with grommets for the pole. There's a difference between a staff and a mast, okay? Who knows what a mast is? Very good. Masts are only on ships, okay? So a lot of times on federal holidays you'll say, well, okay, like it's, I don't know, let's say Memorial Day. Flags publicly are flown at half-mast to show our respect to the dead. It's not half-mast, okay? It's half-staff, half-staff. So unless you're on a ship, don't use the word mast or you're not using it correctly. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to get. Yeah, I'm going to get in a minute on all the different days, the federal holidays that you do lower it.
I mean, they will send you reminders, is what I'm saying. I'm on an email thing that sends me an email every time it's decided and every time, like if someone passes away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so it keeps me updated through email on that.
Right, that's good, that's good. Because then now you're going beyond the federal holidays into more other holidays.
Yeah, I think the Secretary of State's office is who sends me.
Right. There's three different categories other than federal holidays where the mast is lowered. And I'll try to get into that if I don't forget it. Let's see.
Nice reminder.
Huh?
I said it's a nice reminder because
Oh, yeah.
there's just so many things that you get tied up with.
Right.
It always shows up on time, let you know ahead of time. So
Right. And that's something, yeah, we're going to get into the lowering and raising of flags and the proper way to do that because most people don't know that. But I'm here to help you. Let's see. Let's talk about the colors of the flag. We've got the field, I said earlier, is the blue part with the stars in it. That represents valor and bravery. The red represents the blood that the soldiers spilled to save our country, help purify our country. Number 6 is, we have 6 white stripes, and they represent purity and innocence. So, let's review that again. The 7 red stripes represent valor and bravery. The 6 white stripes represent purity and innocence. And the blue, which I told you wrong, is vigilance, perseverance, and justice. I got too many notes here. Okay, so that's about all I've got to say on the parts of the flag. The summary, I'm going to give you a summary of what I'm going to talk about tonight, and I'm going to try to keep this down for a few minutes. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But anyway, the summary verbatim, the United States Flag Code as found in Title 4 of the United States Code and the section of Title 36, these are all numbers to you, which designates the Star-Spangled Banner as the national anthem and provides instructions on how to display the flag during its rendition. The Flag Code includes instruction and rules on such topics as the Pledge of Allegiance, display and use of the flag by civilians, the time and occasions for display, position and manner of display, and how to show respect for the flag. The Code also grants to the President the authority to modify the rules governing the flag. So even though we have a flag code, the President can override it as he sees fit. The report also addresses several of the frequently asked questions concerning the flag. The subject matter of these questions includes the Pledge of Allegiance and the court decisions concerning it, the nature of the codifications of customs concerning the flag in the flag code. You got to be a lawyer to remember all this stuff, guys. Flying of the flag in bad weather, flying the flag at half-staff, ornaments on the flag, destruction of worn flags, display the U.S. flag with flags of other nations or states, commercial use of the flag, the size of the flag, the proportion of the flag, restrictions upon the display of the flag by real estate associations like Property Owners Association, homeowners associations. A lot of times they try to restrict you from wearing flags in their area, but they can't do that under the law. the country of origin of flags used on the caskets of veterans. All of this is contained in the flag code. I am not by any means going to go over that stuff because we don't have the time. But I am going to go over what I think is some important points. A little bit of the background, the history of our flag code. On the national level, the flag code provides uniform guidelines for the display and of respect shown to the flag. In addition to the code, Congress has by statute designated the national anthem and set out the proper conduct during its presentation. The code is designed for the use of such civilian groups or organizations. And I remember sometimes when we do the Pledge of Allegiance in the school and stuff, people were not taught that whenever you are saying the Pledge of Allegiance or the Pledge of the Bible or Pledge, what was the other one? I forgot. Christian flag. Yeah, you need to focus your attention on what you're doing. And I see this even in public events like, we go to National Day of Prayer or something and they say this. We should be focusing our attention on the flag. And I always told the guys, I said, the easiest way for me to remember that is look at the blue field and focus in the middle of it. Focus, Don't let your mind wander. Try to remember what you're doing. You're pledging your allegiance to the flag, which represents our country and all the many, many thousands of men that have died for your freedom and mine. So anyway, the flag code itself, however, suggests a general rule by which, practices involving the flag may be fairly tested. No respect should be shown to the flag of the United States. No disrespect should be shown to the flag of the United States of America. Therefore, actions not specifically included in the code may be deemed acceptable as long as proper respect is shown. One more sentence here. In addition to the flag code, a separate provision contained in the Federal Criminal Code established criminal penalties for certain treatment of the flag. So prior to 1989, this provision provided criminal penalties for certain acts of desecration to the flag. Well, since then, because of the Supreme Court, that's all been eliminated. That's why you see flag burning and all this other heretical stuff going on. On June 22nd, 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt approved House Joint Resolution 303, codifying the existing customs and rules governing the display and use of the flag of the United States by civilians. Amendments were approved on December 22nd of that year. The law included provisions of the code adopted by the National Flag Conference held in Washington, D.C. on June 14th, 1923, with certain amendments and additions. The code was reenacted with minor amendments as part of the bicentennial celebration. In the 105th Congress, the flag code was removed from Title 36 of the United States Code and recodified as part of Title 4. I know these are a bunch of numbers and you're not familiar with them. I wasn't familiar with them, but the word or the phrase title code comes up a lot when it comes pertaining to our flag. Here's a note on our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and the manner of delivery. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, which we all know as I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, should be rendered by standing at attention, facing the flag, with the right hand over the heart. When not in uniform, men should remove any religious headdress, your baseball caps or whatever, from their right hand and hold it over their left shoulder. The hand should be over the heart. Persons in uniform should remain silent, face the flag, and render the military salute. Let's see. Okay, here's something that would pertain to you especially. Display and use of the flag by civilians and the codification of rules and customs. Now, sounds like a long introduction, but there's like 3 sentences, so bear with me. The following codification of existing rules and customs pertaining to the display and use of the flag of the United States of America is established for use of such civilians or civilian groups or organizations as may not be required to conform with regulations promulgated by one or more executive departments of the government of the United States. Wow. Okay, that's a lot to say. Time and occasions for display. It is the universal custom to display the flag only from sunrise to sunset, on buildings, on stationary flagstaffs in the open. However, when a patriotic effect is desired, the flag may be displayed 24 hours a day if properly illuminated. Okay? It doesn't say how much illumination. I mean, at my house, I've got a night light that's one side of my driveway, and I've got the flagpole 100 feet away. But it is illuminated at night. So you got to illuminate it. Most people put a floodlight under it, maybe a solar-powered one, and it'll shine up at night, and you'll see the light. You'll see the flag there. Some of them, the flags have a solar light that mounts to the top by the fanile, and it's kind of like a circle, has LEDs coming down, and it'll also light the flag. And it's all solar, so it's no big deal. Raising the flag. I've seen it raised a million different ways. It should always be raised briskly and brought down slowly, okay? And ceremoniously. The flag should not be displayed on days when the weather is inclement, except when an all-weather flag is displayed. And that would be the nylon types. We've got some in here that are made out of cotton. Polyester types are good for outside use. Cotton is not. Cotton should be used inside only, because it can't take, the colors on cotton will start running with the rain and everything hitting them, and it's not good. The flag should be displayed daily on or near the main administration building of every public institution. The flag should be displayed in or near every polling place on election days. Is that right, Nancy? Polling places have the flag. The flag should be displayed during school days in or near every schoolhouse under that's section G of the flag code. Position and manner of display. There's about 15 different things here, but I'm only going to read 2 of them. The flag should not the flag should not be draped over hood, tops, sides, or backs of a vehicle, or a railroad train, or a boat. When the flag is displayed on a motor car, the staff should be fixed firmly to the chassis or clamped to the right fender. And you see that on the presidential car. That's what that reminds me the most of. You'll always see the flag on the right front fender of the presidential car. Okay, so no other flag or pennant should be placed above or if on the same level to the right of the flag of the United States of America, except during church services conducted by naval chaplains at sea, when the church pennant may be flown above the flag during church services for the personnel of the Navy. It doesn't say anything about any other branch of service, just the Navy, which I thought that was kind of neat. I know a little bit about the Navy. Respect for the flag. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, guys, bear with me. There's like 6 different things, but they're one-sentence deals. No respect should be shown to the flag of the United States of America. The flag should not be dipped to any person or thing. What does dipped mean to you? It means lowered, doesn't it? You remember those brackets you see on houses that have the 2 positions, a horizontal and a 45? You mount the bracket to the outside of your house. When it's in the horizontal position, that's called the dip position. The flag should never be in a dipped position. I don't know why they put it on the bracket. But anyway. Right. It is lowering it for the days that needs to be lowered on.
So
That would,
wouldn't you put it on those days?
yes. Yeah, that's a good reason, yeah. So dipped, I'm thinking you've always got the flag in a horizontal position. I'm sorry, vertical position. Sometimes when they're marching, they'll have it at 45. But bringing it down low, yeah, that would be for those special days for memorial and different ones. Half staff. I almost said mass, didn't I? Okay. So another thing here that to respect the flag, I'll try to go a little quicker here. The flag should never touch anything beneath it, such as the ground. Ooh, and I've seen that done here. The floor, I've seen that done here. Water or merchandise. The flag should never be carried flat or horizontally, but always aloft and free, never bundled. Now there is an exception. I got to admit, this doesn't cover it. But say you've got the big flag. We used to have flags out on the stage right there in the field, right? You guys remember that? We had a flag on each side, the Christian and the American. The only time those flags can be carried legally and not raised, but carried is you put them in your hand. They have to have a cover over them, kind of like a big pillowcase. They got to be over the flag, and then it can be carried like that. Because think about it. You're not seeing the flag if it's covered up, right? So there's no disrespect. So that's how you bring one in for a long distance. The flag should never be used as a wearing apparel. And this one really got to me because I thought, until a couple of days ago, I read this more in depth. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm wearing a shirt that's got a flag on it. Actually, this is not a flag. This is the flag. So that soothed my conscience a bunch, and that's why Brenda said I could wear this tonight. But anyway, yeah. So let me go back and rephrase that sentence because I didn't read it all. The flag should never be fastened, displayed, used, or stored in such a manner as to permit it to be easily torn, soiled, or damaged in any way. Oh, back up one more. The flag should never be used as wearing apparel, bedding, or drapery. Now, back in the early days of the flag, within the first 50 years perhaps, people had their curtains hanging down over their long windows, and they'd have a flag on each side as a curtain, and they would drape it and put the little, what do they call those little bands that go around? Huh? Tiebacks. Okay. They would put that on the American flag. That's not legal, man. That's not. But anyway, that's what they did, and they didn't know. So it should never be festooned, drawn back, nor up in folds, but always allowed to fall free. Kind of like the wall mounting deal. Bunting of blue, white, and red. Now, you've seen those, right? Bunting is kind of like a half circle. We have some out there on the stage, or used to. Always arranged with the blue above, the white in the middle, and the red below. Should be used for covering a speaker's desk, draping it in front of the platform, and for a decoration in general. The flag should never be fastened, and I've seen this done. You want to hang a flag, you want it to be seen in a building, so you'll take it and you'll, instead of like this, come on, you'll have it like this. Okay, there's our field. And you'll want that on the wall for a full display. That's very disrespectful. It's good intentions, but it's disrespectful because you're putting objects into the field. You're putting it in there, and it's designed to be hang down like the wall mounting. You're puncturing poles in it with nails or tacks or whatever. That's not proper. What else we got here? The flag should never be used as a covering for a ceiling. Wow. The flag should never have placed upon it, nor any part of it, nor attached to it any mark, insignia, letter, word, figure, design, picture, or drawing of any nature. The flag should never be used as a receptacle. Now, this would really be crazy. The flag should never be reused as a receptacle for receiving, holding, or carrying, or delivering anything. I mean, you're using it like a blanket or something. You're going to throw stuff in it and carry it. No, they shouldn't do that. The flag should never be used for advertising purposes in any manner whatsoever. It should not be embroidered on such articles as cushions or handkerchiefs and the like, printed or otherwise impressed on paper napkins or boxes or anything that is designed for temporary use and discard. Advertising signs should not be fastened to a staff or a halyard. Now, a halyard is just the rope they use to raise and lower a flag from which the flag is flown. No part of the flag should ever be used as a costume or athletic uniform. However, a flag patch may be affixed to the uniform of military personnel, firemen, policemen, and other members of patriotic organizations. The flag represents a living country and itself is considered a living thing. Think about it. It's on that pole out in the wind. It's moving around. Kind of reminds me of something living. Therefore, the lapel flag pin, being a replica, should be worn on the left lapel near the heart. And finally, the flag, when it is in such condition that it is no longer a fitting emblem for display, should be destroyed in a dignified way, preferably by burning. All right, I'm not going to keep going here. A couple of sentences about the national anthem. The composition consisting of the words and music known as the Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem. conduct during playing, during a rendition of the national anthem, when the flag is displayed. All present and those in uniform should stand at attention. And I'm not going to go into to the proper way to stand at attention. It just, no, I'm not going to do it. Yes, ma'am.
Question. I see a lot of people, is there a proper stance for the civilians, us that are not military?
Yes, and that's what I was just saying. All present except those in uniform stand at attention facing the flag. Yeah,
Because some people stand with their hand on their heart.
and that's good.
Some stand straight, and some put their hands behind their back.
Yeah,
And
well,
I wonder what's
just be in a relaxed position, hopefully your feet are together, hopefully they're not, you're not leaning on one hip or something like that, but you're showing some sort of respect, and you're focused on what's being done. You're not looking around to see who's looking at who or whatever. That's really disrespectful. That's body language is telling the people around you that you don't really care about what's going on. You're more concerned about other people and how they're doing. So you're kind of losing the whole point of being there for the national anthem. When the flag is not displayed, now we're talking about the national anthem. This is the last point I want to bring out about the national anthem. When the flag is not displayed, all present should face toward the music and act in the same manner they would if the flag were displayed. In other words, focus your attention. I noticed sometimes you see videos at different events, and they'll be playing the national anthem. Well, they may start out showing the band that's actually playing the national anthem, and then they'll drift over, another picture will show something else, maybe the crowd or something. Well, in a situation like that, you need to be focused on where the music's coming from. Perhaps there's a band off to the side, an orchestra. Well, for a while you was looking at a flag on the screen, but that's gone. Look at the musicians. Okay, focus your attention on the national anthem and not all that other stuff. When the flag, okay, so they would bring in the flag display. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to cover quite a few things here, but I'm almost done, believe it or not. Pledge of Allegiance is the set forth in number 4 of the United States Code, Title 4. In 1954, Congress added to the Pledge of Allegiance the phrase, "under God, after nation." People have been trying to take that out of our Pledge of Allegiance for quite a while now. Questions about the Pledge of Allegiance usually involve practices and requirements of local and state statutes mandating participation in the recitation of the pledge. I got to stop there just a minute and chase a rabbit. I can remember, is Martin still here?
He's outside starting the
Oh, that's right, he's a fire starter. Pyrotechnics. Well, I'm the same age as Martin. But anyway, we were talking about this years ago. We're talking back in the early 60s, going to grade school and stuff. And back then, we had Bible study in schools, public schools. We had the Pledge of Allegiance. We had prayer time. We had a lot of good things going on back then. But shortly after we got probably out of elementary school is when they discontinued that by law. But I can remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And at that age, it was just more of a routine habit. But at this age, reflect back on those times. Reflect back on your upbringing. It was so important. It was so important. And that was a time period, even for adults, that the world, or our world here, was a lot safer, I believe. It was a lot more patriotic. I'm a Christian nationalist. I love my country, but I'm a Christian too, so I call that a Christian nationalist. I'm very patriotic, and you guys know that from when I've been talking up on the stage and stuff different times, that this red gets to me. Because if it wasn't for the red, we'd probably all be eating rice right now. You know what I mean? We'd be eating rice. This wouldn't be the country that we love now. And that God's blessed us. A lot of people say the United States is the most blessed nation on the planet. But let's think about it. Israel's pretty blessed too. I mean, the Bible tells us that's where God chose to put his name, is in Jerusalem. So that's a very blessed country, and God is looking out for it. He's looking out for us. Because why? Our forefathers, when they came here, they escaped England and the stuff that was going on there in the government. They wanted freedom. They wanted to worship the way they wanted to, and God blessed this country because of that. And that's why we're enjoying it today. People aren't taught that in schools. Public schools are not taught that. And that's why we have a lot of flag burning. We have a lot of riots in the street. You know, they've taken that free speech deal way too far. I don't think our founding fathers wanted it like that. But anyway, that's my take on it. Provision. Now, still talking about the Pledge of Allegiance, one more sentence. Provisions involving compulsory participation in pledge activities are usually attacked as violations of the free speech clause of the First Amendment or the free exercise of religion. And that's kind of what I just said earlier. Okay, displaying the flag 24 hours a day. There is no absolute prohibition in federal law of flying the flag 24 hours a day. The flag code states these two sentences. It is the universal custom to display the flag only from sunrise to sunset on buildings and on stationary flagstaffs in the open. However, when a patriotic effect is desired, the flag may be displayed 24 hours a day if properly illuminated during the dark hours. And here's something interesting about where in the federal government are these locations in our country. There's 8 of them that are under law are to have the flag lit 24 hours a day. And these sites in the United States, flown day and night under specific legal authority, is Fort Henry National Monument in Baltimore, Maryland, Flag House Square in Baltimore, Maryland, the United States Marine Corps in Iwo Jima Memorial at Arlington, Virginia. I've seen that one. Lexington, Massachusetts, and the White House, and the Washington Monument, and the United States Customs ports. Those are the areas where, by law, the flag has to be lit 24 hours a day. Now, let's talk a minute about flying the flag at half-staff. The flag code sets out detailed instructions on flying the flag at half-staff on Memorial Day and as a mark of respect to the memory of certain recently deceased public officials. I think you was touching on that, Carol. This section embodies the substance of Presidential Proclamation number 3044 entitled Display of Flag at Half-Staff Upon Death of Certain Officials and Former Officials. So there, that's covered. Skip around here. This is something you guys might be interested in. Use of flag in jewelry, commercial products, wearing apparel, and advertising. The flag code addresses the impropriety of using the flag as an article of personal adornment, a design on items of temporary use and item of clothing. The evident purpose of these suggested restraints is to limit the commercial or common usage of the flag and thus maintain its dignity. The 1976 amendments to the code recognize the wearing of a flag patch or pin on the left side near the heart of uniforms of military personnel, firemen, policemen, and members of patriotic organizations. The code also states that the flag should never be used for advertising purposes in any manner. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, here's something that someone brought up this earlier about the size of our flags. Questions on size and dimensions usually arise in the context of the display of huge flags. The flag code is silent on recommendations for proper flag size and dimensions. Regulations governing size and dimensions and other requirements for flags authorized for federal executive agencies can be found in Executive Order number 10834. These regulations provide that the length of the flag should be 1.9 times the width. So, it's almost 2-to-1 ratio, right? 2-to-1. Ouch. The height is 1 and twice be long. I'm not going to talk about the HOAs and the POAs that people sometimes have to live around, but they can fly a flag if they want to. And the last thing I'm going to say about the flag code tonight is flag supplies for veterans' caskets. The Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs is required to supply a United States flag to drape the casket of each deceased veteran. The Secretary may not procure any flag for this purpose that is not wholly produced in the United States. The Secretary may only waive this requirement if he determines that the requirement cannot be reasonably met or that compliance with the requirement would not be in the national interest of the United States. In the case of such determination, the Secretary is required to submit to Congress written notice not later than 30 days after the death on which that determination is made. All right. So, with that said, we'll move on to the next spot here. I've got one more spot here, I think.
One question on respect to the flag,
Yes.
the burning of it, even burning it,
Yes.
calling on it.
Yes.
That statute was removed, or was it just not followed?
No, the burning of the flag with dignity, like we're going.
I'm talking about disrespect.
Oh, yeah.
Disrespect, you said it was removed, was that removed from the statute? Or
Yes. It was removed, and it was a crime to do that. And during that time period, you saw a lot less burning of the flags. But because of the distortion of free speech, now we've got burning flags everywhere, which the people who want to burn a flag, do they really belong here? I mean, I'm just asking a question. The people that died for that flag would turn over in their graves if they saw what's going on today. But anyway, code rules. The U.S. Flag Code. Now, I said I was done, but I was done with the manual. There's 8 different things here. One-line sentences, display and use of the flag. No advertising. The flag should not be advertised for advertising purposes. No clothing or items. The flag should not be used as clothing, bedding, or drapery as part of a costume or athletic uniform. No defacing of the flag. The flag should not be drawn on or otherwise marked. Proper display at night. When displayed at night, the flag must be properly illuminated. It must be flown from sunrise to sunset unless provided with proper lighting. No dipping of the flag. The flag should not be dipped as a salute. No touching to the ground. The flag should not touch anything below it, including the ground, water, floor, or merchandise. Now, the custom was if a flag touched the ground, you burned it. That is not true. That's a misnomer. If the flag touches the ground, maybe it's outside, it touched the ground and got dirty in the mud or something, it is legal to wash the thing and reuse it. You don't have to burn it. I don't know where that came from, and I used to believe it too, but that's not part. And lastly, proper display against a wall. And I drew a picture up here. When displayed against a wall, the Union, the blue field with stars, should be uppermost and to the observer's left. That's the way it should be. Now, there is a violation section here. It's about 2 sentences long. The U.S. Flag Code does not carry any legal penalties for violations, meaning there are no specific fines or imprisonment for misusing the flag anymore. Used to be, there's not anymore. While it outlines proper display and use guidelines, adherence is voluntary. Desecration of the flag, however, can lead to legal consequences. Now, let's talk about the flag size, because we see them anywhere from Linda's little 2x2 flag on the food tonight to some that we see on the interstate going toward Little Rock that are 100 feet long, and I think they're 50 feet tall, something like that. Size. The U.S. Flag Code includes a minimum and maximum size for U.S. flags that will be flown at executive agencies, which includes the largest at 20 feet by 38 feet, and the smallest 1 1/3 feet by 2.5 feet. Those are the parameters for the size of the flag. Anything else is on your own. And we do have one new flag law that came into effect June 14th, 2023. The Senate introduced that bill, and it addresses the display and procurement of U.S. flags. Specifically, the bill prohibits the display on federal property and the procurement by a federal agency of a U.S. flag unless it has been made in the United States. One last question. Can you go to jail for disrespecting the American flag? Whoever knowingly mutilates, defaces, physically defiles, burns, maintains on the ground or floor, or tramples upon any flag of the United States can be fined under the title of imprisoned for not more than 1 year, or even both. Okay? And I'm going to stop there on that.
Terry, did you say that it's always supposed to be on the left side?
Yes.
On stage or anything? It's always
Anywhere, yeah. That's kind of why I drew these examples up here, to let you know if facing your house, it should be, if you're on the street looking at the house, it should be on the left side. And if you're hanging it from a wall, the field should always be on the left side. Just keep that in mind. When you're folding it, when you're hanging it, whatever you're doing to it, keep the field on the left side. Now, we're getting ready to fold these flags, and I'm going to ask for some volunteers in just a minute. There are 13 folds in producing one of these. Okay? 13. I was going to read them as we folded the flag, but I can't do two things at once. I've tried. I'm not that ambidextrous. So I'm going to read them to you, and just try to keep this in mind as we're folding the flags. And I want most of you guys to participate in that. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing our ranks, and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature as American citizens trusting in God. It is Him we turn to in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. In the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with our other countries, may be always right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag, all enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor our mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood. It has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that has molded the character of the men and women who have made this country great. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, who has also given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since he or she was first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represent the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, that represents emblem of eternity and glorifies God the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. And the last fold, which is the 13th fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God we trust." And I didn't find this anywhere in my research, but I thought it was interesting that we have 13 stripes representing 13 colonies. We have 13 folds in our flag. There's got to be some correlation there. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I think I've got a note here on flag etiquette. The flag should never be carried flat or horizontal, but always aloft and free. We've already talked about that. The flag should never...
I'm sure they can do it because they put it all the time and on the, like, football fields.
What's that?
They carry it flat.
They do.
They roll it out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Not under the flag code. But there's a lot of things...
Somebody would tell them.
Well, there's a lot of things that are done that we take for granted, and because, what's the old saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. And so if you get used to something that's wrong for very long, you just go ahead and accept it because you think it's natural. So yeah, it's not legal. But they're going to keep doing it, so.
Places the flags
Do what?
on the wall.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Many places the flag is flown horizontal on the wall.
Right, right. And I don't know that people are doing that to mistreat the flag. They're probably proud of it. But,
I've seen that at military football games.
huh?
I've seen that at military. football
Have you?
games.
Well, see.
So are they just not counting it as a flag since it's not hung?
Well, again, I think tradition is probably taking dominance there, and the culture says it's okay to do that sort of thing, so that's why they're doing it.
I've seen it at military football games, so
Right.
would they not know?
They probably know, but are they going to enforce it? Probably not.
When it's them, they're doing it.
I know, yeah.
I mean, it's their band.
I know exactly.
Military.
I know.
The messenger, don't shoot the messenger.
But it,
So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying is maybe because that flag is not one that is hung, the one that they're rolling out, are they not counting it as a flag?
if we go by what I said the dimensions of a flag were, the parameters, yeah, it's not a legal flag.
Okay, so then because it's not a legal flag, then it's not violating.
Right,
That's my point.
right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that I read those dimensions to you. I think the largest dimension was 38 feet, I think, or something like, and those are way bigger than that.
Yeah, so then it's not actually defiling anything.
Yeah, by definition, it's not a flag.
It's a symbol of,
A symbol of a flag. There you go. That'll work. All right. All right. Now, any more Boston lawyers in here? Yes.
Help me, what would be an example of using the flag as an advertisement? Because you see the flag print everywhere, but what is,
The reason I read that reason why it shouldn't be done for advertising is because it loses its dignity.
it loses its dignity, but what would be an instance of somebody using a flag for advertisement?
I don't know.
A guy at a car dealership on TV, waiting July sale. Yeah,
Oh,
a car dealership having a flag.
Honest, good business, American.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
we're American, you know, buy American.
yeah, yeah. They're appealing to the patriotic people in the area when they do that.
You know, probably the time that the flag is most disrespected technically, but not from the heart, is on the 4th of July. When you think about it.
Yeah,
And it's not purposefully disrespected, but you think about where all the flags or symbols of the flag are used.
yeah,
Napkins to cups,
right.
advertisements.
But the key word here is flag, because sometimes, like those napkins behind you have a picture of the flag. That's not a flag. It's just a picture of a flag. So
I think there's probably some technical violations probably during that time
probably,
of the preponderance of flag
yeah,
usage, you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, you see flags stuck in the ground. You see them in the cemeteries on Memorial Day and stuff. Veterans Day, you see them stuck in the ground. They're little short flags. A lot of times, the tip of that flag is touching the ground. I mean, the person's heart is good about setting those out there, but if you go by what the code says for etiquette of our flag, our national,
I'm in violation too, because
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
in my heart, very respectful of the flag, and that's why I fly them at my home. But the ignorance is the problem, because on my house, mine is on the right,
Right. Should
to the left, so I gotta change that.
it should be on the left. Nobody's going to fine you, but that's where it should be.
In my heart, I'm being patriotic,
Yeah.
but I don't have the same, place to attach it on the left.
Right.
My porch, the way it's built.
Right.
There's just a column there, whereas on the right, I have a place that I can secure the flag, so,
Yeah.
naturally, that would be the place to hang, but with this code, you know, I should just take it down.
Right. Well, the code,
A lot of ignorance, that's why this is so important.
the,
There's a lot of the stuff you've covered that, I didn't know that.
yeah. Well, that's the main reason it's been on my heart to get this out to people, because they do not know. They're doing things, but they're doing it without the knowledge that I've tried to give them tonight. And so now we're kind of held accountable, you know. You got your hand up? Or you?
Yes,
Oh,
I just want you to know, when we're at home and they're playing, a flag comes up, it pledges allegiance, what we sing, he stands at attention and he puts it on, and he is, I mean, it's not that, it's all the time. I mean, everywhere we go, he's at that attention. Because he said there's so many people that bled and died for ours, and he just goes to be respectful.
You haven't been there, they teach you the same.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, whenever you're looking at a video or something, you see the national anthem and the band playing a flag, but then all of a sudden the scene changes. You don't see the flag anymore. You should be looking at the orchestra or whoever's providing the music at that time.
There.
Yes, sir.
What about the flag with the gold fringe on it? You seen it?
Yes, and I was, back when Steve was around, we talked about the fringe, and we talked not only the fringe, but the tassels that hang down, because we've got them right here. And at the time, we were talking about, and he was telling me, because he worked around the Pentagon all the time, that those were not legal, those were not in the Constitution. But then I've read, the laws have changed since then. And it was just, I think I read earlier, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, those things are now acceptable because they're showing a certain amount of respect. It's not what the designers in 1777 had in mind, but it's trying to embellish the flag a little bit more, bring more attention to it.
We're in the Oval House with the gold tassels.
Yeah,
We're standing right there.
I know. Yeah, and that, speaking of the spreaders that they make the flags stand out really wide, those aren't legal either. But anyway, they're supposed to be a free-flowing flag, right? I've said that several times. The flag should never have been placed upon it, nor on any part of it, nor attached to it a mark, an insignia, a letter, a word, a figure, a design, a picture, or drawing of any nature. The flag should never be used as a receptacle for receiving, holding, carrying, or delivery of anything. And I think I read that already, but I'll read it again. We got the 4th of July coming up, right? Okay. Let's think about these 8 different things. They're not even sentences, they're just little phrases that we could be doing on the 4th of July. Display your flag from sunrise to sunset. Don't let it touch the ground. Never display the Union down. The only time the Union is down in a downward position, like right here, if this was the pole, the only time you flip that up is a sign of distress, and that is legal. That was used a lot during the Civil War, and people. Okay, he's going to check the fire. Okay, but the flag upside down, with the blue field down, means that there's distress in the area and somebody's crying for help. That's what that means. It's not a form of disrespect, but it's used in emergency situations. Never use it as apparel, as we talked about. Never use it to cover the ceiling. Never use it for advertising. Store it correctly. This is how we store the flag. And I didn't fold this one. That's Martin's flag. But anyway, store it correctly. And destroy it correctly, which we're going to do later on here in a little bit. Requirements for retiring the American flag. 2 things. Respect. Right hand over the heart, or salute if you were in the military. And number 2, dignity. Focus your attention on the meaning of our American flag. That means respect it, no talking or excessive movement during the ceremony. Guys, if there's one time in your life you don't want to be distracted, it's this time during the flag ceremony. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these flags and we're going to fold them best we can. I don't expect it to be perfect. I can't even fold it perfect, and I've been practicing a lot for probably a year. But I need some, we got 11 flags up here, and I need 2 people per flag. So how many people we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We got 24 people. Well, he's watching the flame. So would everybody please pair up and stand here in this open area? Except the two most disabled people, because we need 22 people. Just pair up. Try to form some lines, some right in front of these tables. Now, if we don't have enough people, we'll just have to make 2 rounds of this. So we can get it all done in 1 round if we get 22 people up here. You can face each other. And I want you to look at me and Brenda as we fold a flag to demonstrate the process. Okay? You can face each other, but you look at me too, because I want you to do what I'm getting ready to do. All right, Brenda, you grab the upper part, and we always bring it up to demonstrate this is what we're doing. You see this in funerals. We bring it back down. This is first fold, and when we bring it up now, you don't bring it all the way to the top edge. You bring it about 1 inch or 1.5 inches below the top edge. There's a reason for that. All right, that's the first fold we talked about. Second fold, bring it up to that. This is a plastic flag. Bring it up to that same line. This is still being exposed. All right, that's 2 folds, right? So we got, 11 more to do? First fold, you bring the bottom up to the top edge, and we're making a triangle. First fold, we're going to hold it like this, and you hold it fairly taut, and I'll try not to pull it out of your hands. This is the... No, she doesn't do anything but just stand there and give me moral support. That's the 3rd fold here. Officially, that was the 3rd fold. 4th fold. Bring it down, Brenda. You're going to be around your neck. Was that the 3rd, 4th? 4th. Okay, this is the 5th. When you're folding, now in funerals and stuff, they always come back and they recrease the lines. This leading edge should be lined up with this leading edge. It's very important when you get to the end. Okay, you guys number it off for me. What number? 6, okay. 7, okay. And this short flag is not going to, we're not going to have those 2 extra folds because this is not evidently a regulation size flag. What she's going to do now is you're going to turn that away. And she's going to grab this, what I call it a flap on top. And she's going to fold this, listen, wait a minute. She's going to fold this at a 45 so it'll fit. I know, I'm just telling them. So it'll fit inside the pocket. And then she's going to stuff this thing in there nice and tight, all the way far down. You got to get rough with it, guys. If you want to get it tight, you got to get rough with it. And get that edge all the way down in here to this tip. All right, let me check it. Check the edges. And for demonstration purposes, I want to show you what the finished product is. We don't see any red. We don't see any white. All we see is blue. Okay? Nothing here. Now, she has the flag. She squeezes it because there's air in there. Not only in plastic, but even in the cotton ones. She folds that, and she holds it there, and she's ready to walk off, in this case, I guess, to the table, and lay it down reverently, and we're done with that flag. Okay? So, I would like everybody to grab a flag. Come on, don't be bashful. They're all up here. And then take it back to your partner. Just don't let it hit the ground, guys, okay? These are some really torn and tattered flags. Just don't let it hit the ground. Wait, don't start folding yet. I'll tell you when, because I'm sure you're going to have some stuff turned around. That one went through the Civil War. Those are bullet wounds right there. Don't start folding yet, guys, because I'm pretty sure you don't remember where the blue's supposed to be. So,
Boy, this one went through the water.
yeah. Everybody find a spot where they can fold.
I can't, I'm backwards.
We got one more flag. Brenda, let me do the talking, Brenda.
Jim and Carol, Jonathan and
Okay, Jonathan, you got the last flag, man. All right, guys, everybody look. Hey. Yeah, Jim, would you mind helping Jeff over here? All right, everybody look at me, please. You remember how Brenda and I had the flag sent over here? We had the blue facing that wall. I want your blues to face that wall. If you have to turn around, that's fine. Gracie, turn around 90 degrees. Gracie, you need to face that wall, and there you go. Okay, everybody. The twin guy in the back. Okay, make your flag go like everybody else's. Not you. You're good. Your brother behind you. Turn around because your blue's not in the right position. All right, let me check the blues, guys. Everybody, hold your flags out straight. Hold them out. Give yourself plenty of room to work now. All right, everything's looking good, guys. You guys are quick learners. All right, what I want you to do, the guys that, man, how do we name it? The guys that have their backs to this wall over here, are y'all looking at me? The guys that have your back to that wall, you should have the blue in your hands. Is that right? We do. Okay, what I want you to do is take your right hand and move it to the blue. That's going to be your first fold. Bring it up to the blue. There you go. That looks good. Keep it vertical. Keep your flags vertical. We got another fold to make. Yeah, keep your vertical. We don't want it horizontal. Right. But drop the flag. Drop the flag. You want it this way. Everybody should still have their flags vertical position. All right, that was, Jeff, I want your flag vertical, not horizontal. Ronnie, vertical. Everybody vertical. It's real important when the folding of the flag. All right, that was fold number 1. Let's do something really challenging and try to get fold number 2 in there. Go from the bottom and bring it back up to the top. Both sides. You should be coming down about an inch below the first seam. Yes. Everybody got the second fold established? Yes, that's looking good. All right, let's go on with fold number 3. Now here at this point, let's turn our flags horizontal. The people that are holding the blue field, all you're going to do is hold. You're not going to do anything. Your partner is going to do all the folding. But you are responsible for not letting that flag hit the floor. All right, let's go on. Fold number 3. Make your first fold. That means you take your left, the guys that are doing the folding, take your left hand and bring it to your right hand at a triangle. Make a triangle out of it. Got it? That looks good. Guys, y'all are doing good. For you guys that have torn and tattered flags, it's a mess, I know. But it'll get better. All right, let's go for fold number 4. Keeping it nice and tight. Tightness is very good. Don't get ahead of me. Okay? Don't get ahead of me. It'll mess you up at the end if you do. All right, let's go for the next fold. Everybody take the next fold. I'm waiting for... You got it? Everybody got a... Now, these flags, guys, are not going to be perfect. I understand that. But okay, except one. So we're not going to redo them is what I'm trying to say. All right, go ahead and continue with your folds one at a time and don't get in a rush about it. Do not get in a rush. Respect and dignity for these flags. Or I'm going to draft you and you're going to go with me to Vietnam. That'll be fun with the punji sticks and all. Take your time. Make sure your edges line up. If they don't line up and they go cockeyed on you, you're not going to be able to make that final fold. Okay, so when you get to this last, that should be more this way. Then you're going to take this corner and fold it back a little bit, just a little, and you're going to take this whole thing and you're going to lift this flap and stuff it in there. Good and tight, best you can. Well, that's looking good.
We're going to stuff it in here. 'Cause
Yeah. Yeah, because of your fold. So, yeah, you'll bring that down pretty good. You'll have to bring it down to where this line here is going to line up with this line. And just grab this and stuff it in there hard as you can.
It's not going to fit.
Then this will have to, how did you do that? Usually,
It's not a normal fit.
oh, okay, we'll go ahead and improvise, whatever it takes to get that in there.
Well,
There you go, that's it, now you got it, that's it. Pull it good and tight, get rough with it if you have to.
it's good. No red, white, and
That's what I like to see.
Besides that, but
That's okay, that's part of the border embroidery, so it's good. Now, you take it like that, bring it to your chest, and take it over there and set it with the rest of them.
I'm not as old as you, but we were doing Bible and stuff all the way through till I got to junior.
Really?
So,
Oh.
all the way through to the early 80s.
Yeah, well, that's, well, Hot Spring didn't, they blew it.
They got too much flag.
Where? Okay, guys, let's have a seat if you're done.
We don't know what to do here.
You have this is not a regulation flag, so you have the same problem, Carol. What you want to do is you want to bring this. You're going to have to improvise.
Okay.
All the way. Okay, this is, we just got to improvise.
I thought we had to be,
Well, no, this is not a legal
Not
flag.
regulation flag. so
it
that's
was
fine.
a mess. It was shredded.
I know. All right, here's you lift this flap, and Linda, take this,
Tuck in the diaper.
cram it all the way down to his belly button over here. Just stuff it in there any way you can. Get it all in there. And then once you put it over here by the table, we're
Yeah,
going to
don't hold it with your
just
thumb.
keep stuffing until it's good and tight. There you go. You're looking good. Okay, guys, if we could have a seat. Hey, guys, let's have a seat. We're not done. Let's have a seat. Oh, okay. You can shut this off if you want. Let's have a seat. We got a final word. Have a seat, please. I appreciate what you guys did here. You didn't have a lot of experience, but you did a fantastic job. They resemble triangles. So they look good. So here's what we want to do. We're going to go and have the ceremony outside, how to properly destroy these things. Let me remind you, well, actually, I haven't even told you yet. There's 3 different ways we can, with dignity, destroy these flags. The most common and recommended is fire. The second, not everybody has fire because they live in a city and they don't allow fire, for one, is to bury the flag. And then the last one, I don't have an example. Yeah, you can take the, yes ma'am.
I just got a text from Martin, and he said if we could wrap it up, it's starting to rain.
All right, I'm coming in with 1 minute. The last example is to cut the flag up. And I respectfully, you cut the blue part out of the flag. The stripes are separated from the blue field. It is no longer considered a flag. You can literally throw it in the garbage can. It's not a flag anymore. You separated it. You're not disrespecting the flag. Those are the 3 ways. What I like is one person from each pair come up here and grab a flag, put it to your heart. Let's walk out there orderly and respectful to the fire pit. You can. You could. Everybody grab a flag that your pair. We still got several up here.
I don't know which one we did.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.